This is a template to prepare your correlation output. If you understand all the parts of the correlation output, then it will be extremely easy for you to write this up. Make sure that you watch the other video that's available for the understanding of what a correlation is, to perform the write-up. We run the test in SPSS. That's already been done for you. I will show you the data in a few seconds. This is the actual template. It's in there for you to use. If you fill in the blanks, it's self-explanatory. You'll understand how to write it up for your homework. You want to tell your reader what type of analysis you conducted. You want to also tell the reader the particular analysis was used and what did your analysis test for. Just as we talked about last week, it's important for you to understand that you must tell the reader what kind of test it is and what variables you're actually looking at. So here's the example. A Pearson product moment correlation was computed to assess the relationship between variable 1 and variable 2. This is the first sentence. The second sentence talks about the R value, which is also called Pearson correlation. There was a correlation or no correlation between the two variables, the R value, which is the Pearson correlation value, the number of participants, and whether the P value was above or below 0.05. Okay? Your next, and then here is how the box is laid out. All the boxes are the same. Now there can be a whole bunch. If you're looking at a whole bunch of correlations, this matrix, which is called a matrix, can be extremely large. So it can have all kinds of boxes. You'll see here that we're looking at water and skin here. Okay? And then there was a positive correlation between the two variables. R equals 9.85. You see it right there, 9.85. The N value is the N that was here, and then P was labeled out at 0.0002. Okay, so we only go, in this one you will be reporting 3 places in both places for the P value and that. We will go with P is either greater than or less than 0.05. So this is significant at 0.002. So this will be P is less than 0.05, just as we talked about up here. How do you know it's positive? There's no negative sign in front of it. This is the same one. No negative sign in front of the 0.958. Okay? We also know that it's a high correlation based on the 30, 50, 70 rule. Above 70, that Pearson correlation, which is also the same as the letter R right here. R is a little letter to tell it's a Pearson correlation. Okay? So we know that it's above 0.70. So we know for 0.700 that it is actually truly a highly correlated positive. So you could change that to there was a high positive correlation between the two variables, which are water and skin. Okay? This is what it looks like. There is a positive correlation between the two variables. R equals 0.985. That should be a 5 right there. N equals 5 and P is less than 0.05. Now you have to look at the scatter plot. And there's a scatter plot. The scatter plot summarizes the results. I'm not going to go into that here. I'm going to talk about that when we do the next section. Okay? The scatter plot summarizes the results, figure 1. Okay? Now you're going to report the results in words that people can understand. Okay? You might write something like this. Overall, there was a strong positive correlation between water consumption and skin elasticity. Increases in water consumption were related to increases of skin elasticity. And then this is the entire section here. So you can copy and paste this and use it as an example to write up yours. Now I'm going to do one and then there's one for homework. So I'm going to minimize this. If I can remember how. So we are looking at a brand new set of correlations. We've already run everything in SPSS. We popped out with correlations. Remember that correlations go from -1 to +1 on a number line, with 0 being in the middle. -1 and +1 are perfect correlations. That's why you see this number 1 here. It's a perfect correlation. It's SA mark divided by SA mark, which equals 1. 1 divided by 1 equals 1. The scores are the same. So if this score was 64, this score is 64. When the correlation is done, it gives you a 1. This is on your midterm. If you see a 1, it's a perfect correlation. The scores match. So make sure you understand that. Over here, you'll see that it was a positive correlation between hours spent on the essay and essay mark. Now this was the same numbers because it's hours spent on the essay and essay mark. So this is a 0.267, which is below 3.0. So it is a it could be a mild or slight positively correlated number. Okay. You see the significant is 0.07, so it is non-significant. Okay, and the number of participants for this was 45. Okay, we move to a scatter plot. Okay, in the scatter plot, we can see that the line is going this way, so there is an increase. Okay, it's an increase. You can also see all the little dots on here. Okay, they are increasing. They're going in this direction. Now it's not. It's kind of slight. Line doesn't go from here straight up, but it still is going in this direction. If it's flipped the other way, going this direction, now it's a negative. This is a positive. The opposite is negative. So okay, so we know essay marks and hours spent on the essay. Okay, so if we look at this number, we can see as the numbers go up here, as if it's positive, both are going to go up. So we can say as essay marks, as hours spent on the essay increased, the essay marks also increase. So that's basically essay grades. Okay? So hours spent on the essay go up, the essay marks go up. The next step is to put this into words. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new file. New blank document, okay, and I'm going to minimize it a little bit, and I'm going to put it right next to it. Okay, view, draft, okay, we'll put it right here, and I'm going to raise this one up a little bit. Put this up here at the top, okay. And then I'm going to, where's the other one? Minimize this one. And I'm going to move it down here. And then I'm going to make the view draft. Move it up. And see how well I did. Oh, I don't know where it is. So if I go to write this up, I tab A, Pearson, product, core was computed to assess the relationship between essay marks and hours spent on the essay, period. There was a slight positive correlation between the two variables comma R equals 0.267 comma big N space equals 45 comma P little p is greater than 0.05. That's wrong, so we'll make that an equal sign, put a space there, take this out. Okay, the R needs to be italicized, the N needs to be italicized, and the P needs to be italicized. Okay, and that's a period. A scatter plot summarizes the results. Figure 1. Period. Overall, there was a slight positive correlation between essay marks and hours spent on the essay. Period. Now, if we go to the scatter plot, we know that as hours spent on the essay increased, essay marks also increased. I've given everything I need. I have what kind of test we ran, essay marks and hours spent on the essay. Those are the two variables. Slight positive correlation. There's the correlation number, which works out to the numbers that are in the boxes. The N number of how many participants, and it was greater than 0.05. A scatter plot summarizes the results. Under here, we would take this scatter plot, copy it. We would then place it underneath, if it'll go. And it's not going, so I'm not going to worry about it. Overall, there was a slight, that's not the right how to spell that, positive correlation between essay marks and hours spent on the essay. As hours spent on the essay increased, essay marks also increased. We talked about the essay mark. We talked about the hours spent on the essay. We talked about the R number. We talked about the significance level and the number of participants, and then we saw which direction it was going. We now know that if it was this is positive because it's going upwards from left to right. Okay, we can also see that the scores were higher as the hours were spent. Okay, and that is how you write up the entire correlation.